1, 2, 3, FCA!
So, we want to look at some final techniques from the takedown arena. And, I mean, it's a running joke in jiu-jitsu, like guard pulling. Certain competitions will penalize you for guard pulling, -2 points. It can sometimes be the right tactical thing to do. If you are going up against someone who clearly has better wrestling, better judo, better takedowns, or even better striking in a fight situation, it could be that being on the ground is the safest place to be, and it could be that the only way you're going to get it there is by pulling guard. But what I don't want to do is pull guard in a completely defensive manner. If you look at the point scoring in jiu-jitsu, the majority of points come from the top. If you look at IBJJF tournaments, there's a few people have pulled together data points from it. And the vast majority of points are scored in the first minute of a match. And the two most common things that are scored from are takedowns and guard passes. So bearing that in mind, if I just defensively pull guard, the most likely next thing that's going to happen, unless I am significantly better than the other guy, statistically the most likely next thing to happen is they are going to score an advantage or 3 points for guard pass. That's just statistically the most likely thing that's going to happen. Equally, if I'm going defensively for a guard pull, and I get known for that, this guy knows that, he really just has to touch my leg as I go for it, and he's going to get takedown points. So, it can be a strategically good thing to do to pull guard, but I want to do it in an aggressive manner. So, we're matched up. I've got him moving around. I'm going to pull guard by putting a foot up to his hip, but I am not going to sit straight backwards. I'm going to wait till the moment where I've got out to the side, and I am going to step up. I'm going to pendulum my butt, and I'm going to sit out to the side. And when that happens, I create rotation through his hips and shoulders, which I could use to turn into a sweep. So I'm here, I'm out to the side, I step up, I sit, and then I can pull him and come up to a top position. At this point, I get 2 points for the sweep, takedown, 4 points for the mount position. I am 6 points to the good. Now, in this motion, I am separating this arm up away from his body. He's gripping onto me here. As I sit down, I pull on his arm, I create space here. So one thing that could quite often happen, I'm going to do this a little bit slower, I step up, and as I sit, this comes round here. As he comes across me, I can step over, go straight for my armbar. Finish the fight there and then. That is the only type of flying armbar you will ever see me going for. You will never see me jumping up for a flying armbar and giving the guy the option to King Kong me down into the ground. Donkey Kong smash. Not fun. Okay. Something that sometimes happens. As I step up and swing, this guy is good. He's balanced with me. He's followed me. He's done the right thing. He's got his hips low. It's hard for me to keep driving him that way. This foot inside his knee, though, is now really important. I'm just going to come to the outside of his ankle here, and I'm just going to push sideways on his knee and come up to a top position. This shin bone is a beautiful lever. By controlling the ankle, pushing on the inside of the knee, I can rotate his entire body. So that was some fun we were looking at for aggressive guard pull. To finish off the white to blue belt curriculum, that guard pull is not on the curriculum. I keep trying to persuade Dennis we need guard pull on there, and he laughs at me every time. But to finish the curriculum, the one thing that we hadn't covered is the bottom position for half guard. So The absolute basics are, I ideally want to be up on my side and stacked and framed. The worst position I can be in is flat on my back. The battle, big battle with the half guard is this near arm. He wants an underhook to flatten me out. I want an underhook to control the position. So we're going to do a lot of this pummeling to try and fight for that inside, that underhook. Okay? If he has me completely flattened out, worst case scenario, for a blue belt curriculum, we just want to look at the basic ways to get out from here. So he has me flattened out. I want to make a frame, but my arm is the wrong side of his head. If I just push my arm across here, I'm giving him a head and arm. This is a very bad position for me. He's going to choke me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to push against his head on this side, and I'm going to rotate up to push against his head to create space. My hand comes to his elbow, and now you can see I'm cross-facing here. So I've created that cross-face there. I can now bring my knee up under his armpit. My hand is going to go through that space. I'm going to kick out, shoulder high, come up, take the back. So that's my first escape. My primary escape, I'm looking for that underhook, and I'm going to follow that underhook to his back. He is wise to that. So I've pushed up, I've made a brace, I've started looking for this space. He comes backwards and defends that space. It's not easy for me to get in there, but at this point, there's a lot of space here. I can escape my hip just a little bit. It's very easy now for me to come back to my closed guard. Start attacking from here, okay? I'd rather be on his back, I'd rather be on top, but I'll take that if that's all that's on offer. I'll go back to closed guard or open guard. Now, the final piece that we looked at was, I'm up here, I've started making my frame. For whatever reason, I don't feel that I can use those techniques. He's staying reasonably tight to me. I can come underneath here. I'm actually hooking all the way around and hooking his foot, looking for his toes. I'm now going to swap my feet. So my outside foot comes over the top, and I'm opening him all the way around. Again, using that shin bone as a lever. From there, I can switch my hips, drive into him, and keep this leg up here tight until I've cleared and gone down into my side mount. So we've got three solid options from the half guard. Obviously the half guard, there's a world of options, world of techniques, sweeps, attacks from there. But at the base level, for the blue belt, we just want you to be able to know how to get out of there, get back to either the guard where we've got a bunch of options, or reverse, get to the back, or get to the top. So that's our techniques, and at this point we have covered the entire white to blue belt curriculum. So if you can master all of these techniques, you have a good ability to show us all of these techniques, plus basic understanding of the rule set, a little bit of the history of jiu-jitsu. That is really what we're looking for to promote you to a nice, beautiful blue belt like this gentleman here has. Good training.
Oh,
Thank you.